Hi, this is Dr. Mamta Deghe, Director of Zenith Advanced Fertility Center, Pune. And today we are going to be discussing a topic called intrauterine insemination or IUI. It is a very well known treatment in infertility, but there are a lot of questions surrounding it. And here we are going to try and understand exactly which couples should use this treatment for IUI and what are the indications and what will lead us to a higher success rate with IUI treatment. So, intrauterine insemination or IUI is a procedure in which we take the semen sample from the husband most of the times and we wash the semen sample, and then this semen sample is inserted inside the uterus. The rationale of doing the IUI is to make sure that you are putting a good viable semen sample or sperms inside the uterus, thereby decreasing the distance of the sperms towards the egg. So basically, whenever you have intercourse, the sperms have to travel from the vagina into the uterus and right up to the fallopian tubes. Here, when we are using an intrauterine insemination procedure, after we wash the semen sample, we just take the good sperms, the motile sperms, and because of the media that we use to prepare the semen sample, it also gives a better fertilization capacity to these sperms. When these sperms are inserted inside of the uterine cavity, they are much closer to the fallopian tube and thereby closer to the oocytes which have just ovulated, and making the chances of pregnancy and fertilization of the egg much more compared to a natural pregnancy. Now the question is, which couples will benefit of an IUI? There are three most important indications where the success rates of IUI are very good. One is unexplained infertility. That is a condition where most of the times all the investigations that we carry out for the couple look to be normal, and therefore there isn't a specific reason why the infertility is happening. Now, like I said, the rationale of IUI is not just washing the semen sample and putting it inside. The real thing is to make sure that you are increasing the gametes, both the female gametes, that is the eggs, as well as the male gametes, that are the sperms. So most of the times there is a myth saying that okay, all you have to do is wash the semen sample and put it inside. Like sometimes we have patients coming and saying that we've ovulated and now we just want to do the IUI. Well, really, when IUI, and if it has to work well, you have to make sure that the ovulation stimulation that is carried out for the female is also done equally well compared to the semen wash that is carried out in the laboratory. And the increase in the gametes, the female gametes as well as the male gametes, is what gives you better success rate in IUI. So the first indication is an unexplained infertility. The second indication is a mild male factor infertility. That is to say, in males who have some problem in the semen count or motility, but not a severe grade of decreased semen count or motility. So if you have a mild decrease in the semen count or a mild decrease in the motility of the sperms that the male has, then again intrauterine insemination will help for this couple. The third indication is, suppose if there are any coital problems, difficulty in having intercourse, etc., again you can utilize intrauterine insemination. Many times what we do is, whenever we are carrying out an controlled ovarian hyperstimulation, or we are giving drugs to the female in cases of polycystic ovaries where the eggs are not being formed properly, and when we are using the stimulation for the female partner, we many times also combine an IUI or an intrauterine insemination in such cases, in cases of polycystic ovaries where we are using good amount of medications in order to cause a good ovulation in this woman. When you combine an intrauterine insemination in such women, again the chances of conception will increase. Now the question also is, which couples should not go in for an IUI? So basically, when we are talking of IUI, again we can understand that we are putting the sperms inside the uterus. So, the final step where the sperms go into the fallopian tubes and the egg is traversing the fallopian tubes from the other end, the egg and the sperm are still going to meet inside of the fallopian tube, and the process of pregnancy or fertilization is going to happen as in a natural conception within the body. And therefore, having the fallopian tubes to be open is an extremely important factor. And therefore, if there is a woman who has a tubal factor infertility or who has both her tubes blocked, cannot go in for an intrauterine insemination. Again, if you have a severe male factor, like you have absolutely no sperms, or if you have very low amount of sperms or very poor motility in the sperms, or if there are a lot of abnormal sperms in the semen sample, again you cannot utilize an intrauterine insemination procedure for such couples. If the woman is over the age of 35 to 37, the chances of pregnancy with intrauterine insemination again decreases. So if there is an elderly woman and maybe you're thinking that her egg reserve or the number of eggs in her ovary are not very high, again probably this is a couple or this is a woman in whom you will not prefer doing an intrauterine insemination. Another very important factor, not only in terms of age, but you also have to look at a woman in terms of her ovarian reserve. We can have many young women who have very less number of eggs in her ovary, and we will be taking up this topic at an individual level on one of our further talks and discussion. But even if you have a younger woman with a very low amount of eggs in her ovary, again her chances of pregnancy with an intrauterine insemination are not going to be very high. So such are the indications or the contraindication or couples in whom you would not resort to an intrauterine pregnancy and would think of some other modalities of treatment for this couple. So just to understand what is the process of an intrauterine insemination and what are the mandatory things that we should be doing before taking up a couple for an IUI procedure. First is to assess that whatever ovarian reserve as well as the sperm count is there is conducive for an intrauterine insemination, making sure that this is not an elderly woman, making sure that both her fallopian tubes are open are some of the prerequisites for taking up the patient for an IUI procedure. During the IUI procedure, basically it starts on the second or third day of the menstrual cycle of the woman. We generally do a baseline ultrasound to make sure that there is no cyst in the ovary and the endometrium or the lining of the uterus is thin. We usually start her on some oral medications around that time, and around the 7th or 8th day of her menstrual cycle, we usually add some injections. Now this is done to make sure that you have more than one follicle in the ovary, that is more than one egg is generated for the woman. Like I mentioned previously, the success of IUI is going to increase if you have a higher number of eggs as well as better sample of the semen. So you need to make sure that your ovarian stimulation is also going very well, and it is for this reason that the woman is given some medications, some injections. The follicular monitoring is done with a transvaginal ultrasound, and we make sure that adequate follicles or eggs are growing within the ovary. We also have to make sure that we do not overstimulate this woman, because the ovulation is going to happen inside and we do not want more than 2 to 3 eggs that are developing, or maximum 4. And just in case, if on a sonography we feel that there are more number of follicles that are being generated and there is a likelihood of hyperstimulation in this woman, we can either abandon the cycle or we can convert it to an IVF. But most of the times this will not happen with a good doctor and clinic, because we already know what dosage is to be given to the woman in order to make the exact number of follicles. So once you have monitored that good follicles are being generated, When these follicles are mature at around the size of about 18 to 20 millimeters, we give her an ovulation trigger. After the ovulation trigger, IUI is done approximately between 36 to 40 hours after the ovulation trigger. So about 36 hours later, the couple is called back into the IVF center or the IUI center. The husband gives us the semen sample. This semen sample is washed in the laboratory, in the andrology laboratory, with good media and the good sperms. We basically remove all the semen from this and take only the good quality sperms. These sperms are taken in a small catheter, and this catheter is just threaded very gently into the uterus through the cervical canal, and these sperms are then gently inserted into the uterus. This is a completely painless procedure. There is no pain during the IUI procedure. There is no admission or anything like that. You come in, you do take time to process the semen sample. So you have to keep about 2 to 3 hours ready on the day of the IUI. But after the IUI, you can resume all the routine activities that you are used to doing, go back to office, everything can be done as you do routinely. So this is a very good procedure. It's a very cost effective procedure, and it is seen that most of the times about 30% of the couples who deal with infertility can conceive only with an IUI treatment. So again, after the IUI there are no restrictions, and the success rate of this procedure is about 15 to 18%. The only thing is that please be prepared for a few cycles of IUI. There is no guarantee that a single cycle of IUI is going to give you a pregnancy. So usually we tell the couple that you should plan for about 3 cycles of IUI. And after 3 to 6 cycles of IUI, if a couple has not conceived, then the chances of this couple conceiving with one more IUI is not very high, and then we think of moving on to other forms of treatment. So this is the gist of what an IUI treatment means, which couples can entail of this kind of treatment, what are the contraindications, what are the do's and don'ts, what are the success rates of the IUI procedure, and how many cycles you should be prepared for in order to make sure that you have given yourself the best possible chance of conception with IUI treatment. So thank you for watching us, and if you have any questions, please feel free to post a comment or visit our website. Thank you.